What is up, Brassonians? We're hitting the HotS and we're building some tanks. What's going on, Choogie?
What is up?
Um, this guy, this beefy boy,
Yes.
Anub'arak, used to be a really fun fight.
All right. Yes, he is. I never use him that well. There was a chunk of time where I used him all the time.
Oh, okay.
So he was my main tank for a while. He's really, really good. I
And
think
then you
he's
went
fantastic.
dwarf and you never went back?
Uh, well, I started dwarf, and then well, I kind of like I wanted us to play the characters I wanted to play as, and
Yeah.
then I realized like I should. Well, it kind of worked out because Falstad is my dwarf guy, and then he's a ranged assassin. So assassins have the easiest job. So I just started assassinating, and then eventually I got a lot of my friends into it. And assassin's kind of the easy spot to start. So although my one buddy he likes Artanis a lot because he's a big StarCraft guy, and Artanis at the time was a warrior. Is they were categorized differently. So he was a warrior, um, which is basically a tank. Tanks and bruisers are basically warriors. Melee and range assassins were just assassins, and then healer and support was just healer.
Oh,
So
okay.
you only had, and then there was another one called specialist, which was kind of awkward because no one knew what the hell a specialist was. Because mostly they're basically just DPS guys, but with like a very specific uh, theme to them. Like Sylvanas was one, Abathur was one, um, Lost Vikings were one. So the specialist thing was kind of dumb. They got rid of it, which is good. And now we have these six that are split up more, which is really nice.
Yeah, it
Um,
is.
so yeah, so my friends were all playing. They were mostly all assassins, but uh, like I said, my one buddy was the tank. So that's when I started healing because we didn't have a healer. So that's when I started healing. I got to go with that. And then he wanted to try Kerrigan because StarCraft fan. So
Checks
then
out.
I did tank then after. So it was pretty much when all my friends came, they pretty much did the tank or the DPS role. So that's when I dove into tank and healing. Um, and now I almost kind of prefer it to assassin sometimes.
I mean, yeah, sometimes it's super fun
Yeah,
to just, like, not die.
especially now since they split it all up. They split it all up. So Bruiser is what I really enjoy. I really like Bruiser because that's
Yep.
a little bit of both.
You're beefy, but you're not, like, useless.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so new Barack. Yeah, when you're ready.
Yeah, right on. So we've got Impale. So you're gonna shoot a line of spikes that damages and stuns enemies. It deals about 90 damage and stuns everybody for a second. Hardened Carapace. So gain a shield that grants 40 spell armor and absorbs 340 damage over 3 seconds, which is so good. 3 seconds is a long time. Burrow to a target location and deal 91 damage and briefly stun enemies in a small area when you resurface. It slows them by 25% for 2.5 seconds. And you can just get up out of there if you want to get out of there early. And your trait is your host. So I spawn a beetle every 8 seconds, which attacks enemies for 20 damage. For heroics, I've got a Locust Swarm. Deals 68 damage per second to nearby enemies. Each enemy damage restores 24 health and lasts 6 seconds. And then Cocoon wraps a target enemy hero in a cocoon, rendering them unable to act or be targeted for 7 seconds. And allies of the hero can attack the cocoon to break them free early.
Okay, now two things real quick with Impale and Burrow Charge. They're actually a lot better than what they sound, and they sound great. Because so we have a 1 second stun on Impale, and then Burrow Charge is Impale, blah blah blah. It stuns. Okay, it just says stuns and then slows. So what he does actually is both moves pop the enemies up. So if they're hit, they get popped up first, and then when they land, then they're stunned. So you actually get probably another second worth of time where they can't act.
Oh, even better.
Yes, and Burrow Charge, when he the end of that is actually in a small radius, so you can actually hit multiple guys in it.
Sweet.
Yes, so that is super huge to knock them up first and then hit them, because it's basically think of it as like two basic attacks, one in the air, one for the stun. If you're doing a continuous damage ultimate, that's 2 ticks of that damage. So any like AoE on the ground, they will take damage over time. They're stuck there for even longer. So they both say that both don't say that it pops him up. It just says it stuns, but it actually the stun starts when they land.
So basically, you could really,
yeah,
like with Jaina or something, like you pop them up, she just starts blizzarding and wrecks house.
Yes, so they actually work together really, really well. So you could, for example, you can start with her cone, so everyone's slowed. So it's a lot easier now for Anub'arak to land one of these 2 moves. You pop them up. Once they get popped up, Jaina casts her Blizzard. And then while they're continuing being slowed by Blizzard. And then you can use your other move then to pop them up again, keep them in that Blizzard radius for even longer. And Burrow Charge will slow as well. So you can trap people in other people's moves for a pretty long time.
Yeah.
And then every time you do one of these moves, you spawn one of your beetles that can help you take lanes for sure.
That nibbles right at him.
Yes. So we're gonna do 2 builds today. Kind of your standard build, which is the long-winded one I'll go through, and then we'll do a fast build of 2, which is his Beetle build, and that's the fun build. That's the lane clear build. I mentioned it in another video that we just filmed today, so I'm not really sure when it'll go up or whatever, but the Beetle build is very fun, and you can overpower a lane significantly. And while I was playing earlier, I found a talent that actually makes that even better. So he's overwhelming in a lane. And me and my buddy, he used to play Zool, and Zool is another guy who can overtake a lane by spawning extra minions. And the 2 of us stayed in lane together, and we dominated the lane. We pushed it so hard and so fast. So it's really, really wild. So there is definitely some merit to this. So if you group up with the randoms, and there's another tank, or maybe you have 2 bruisers, go with the Beetle build. It's fun, and you'll clean up really nicely. The problem with the Beetle build is by taking Beetle talents, we are not going to take his good tank and crowd control talent. So that's the issue with the Beetle build. And then with that being said, there was his his armor move. There was a build around the armor as well. So maybe we'll build a 3rd one, build it around the armor. Because there used to be, I have to assume they fixed it, but there was something about it that was broke.
Oh, okay.
He was wrecking them. He was killing heroes big time just by activating his armor.
That's cool.
Yes. So build 1 will be our main one here. Nerubian armor increases hardened carapace's spell armor by 20. So we're getting 50 spell armor. Is it 50? 60. So default grants you 40 spell armor and then absorbs the shield. And now this is going to grant you 60. So you're going to be taking less than half of spell damage, which is amazing. This is great. The con to it is that if you have a physical, that spell armor is not going to help versus a Tychus, a Zul'jin, Raynor, those kind of guys. Legion of Beetles. Beetles have 30 spell armor and automatically spawn a beetle every 12 seconds. You can toggle that on and off. Why toggle it off? If you're pretty much if you're trying to be stealthy.
Oh,
because
okay.
You're hiding in the bushes when it's 12 seconds. All of a sudden, the beetle's going to come out of the bush. That's kind of how you can track down Abathur as well, because he spawns his little locust guys.
Yeah, you're like, definitely nothing in this bush, guys.
Yeah. So this is Legion of Beetles. Obviously, this is for our Beetle build. We'll get there in a little bit. Having the spell armor is great because that is a huge amount of armor. I mean, there's heroes that don't even get 30 spell armor.
Yeah.
Um, so you get some really beefy beetles, and you pop one out every 12 seconds. And the beetles, they last 8 seconds, assuming they don't get killed. So that means you'll have 4 seconds where you won't have a beetle pretty much. So it's pretty nice. And then for our tanky build, which we're going to choose Regeneration Master. So every globe you get increases your health regen by 1. Up to 30. So that means you're going to do an additional 30 health per second. Now, I don't know what the flat base is for him. I'm not sure what that is. I figured out how to look it up, but I can't remember. I don't remember where it was. How I did it. So basically what this is great. So when you're moving from lane to lane, you're just going to be regenerating health.
Sweet.
As you're doing it, and then after you get 30 globes, you get 500 max health, which is nice.
Yeah, that's a good
So
chunk.
the 500 health is great. The regen is what we really like about this build. Part 4. This is one of the hardest ones to choose from. So Bed of Barbs, create a bed of spikes along Impale's path that slows enemies by 25% and deals 21 damage per second, and spikes persist for 3.5 seconds. That 21
Yikes.
damage that'll increase as we level up. Shed Exoskeleton. Hardened Carapace grants 30% increased movement speed for 3 seconds. And then Underking, increase burrow charge range by 20% and damage by 100%. This is super hard. I typically choose Underking.
Okay.
Because being able to, because burrowing charge is maybe your most important move. Because not only can you ambush guys, you can also escape, and you can escape pretty much anything. You go underground, so they can't hit you. They can't hit you. They can't do anything to you. If you're slowed, you can get out of the slow by doing this. So burrow charge is an incredible, unless you're stunned, it's an incredibly powerful move.
Okay.
If you're rooted, I think you can still escape if you're rooted. I'm not positive. So then to increase that range by 20% is fantastic. And then the damage is nice too, because when enemies are running away, you can go underneath the other team as well, and underneath terrain. So if someone's running away, you can burrow and pop up underneath the back line and then get them. So burrow charge it's an excellent escape tool. It's an excellent ambush tool. It's an excellent chase tool. Basically, burrow charge can do everything you need it to do.
Yeah, like they're about to get the tribute, you just pop on up there. It's great.
Yeah, you can pop right up. Yeah, it's such a powerful move, and he moves so fast while you do it. So I choose this. However, Bed of Barbs, I like that a lot as well. It helps you with some lane clear. It does slow, it does damage over time. It can work against structures as well. So if you put it right on a building, or you can even angle it so it goes through the tower and a gate, so it'll just take extra damage. So this is very, very nice. And Shed Exoskeleton, this makes it to where you pop your Hardened Carapace and then you get 30% move speed. So you're basically mounted, and once you get in a danger zone, you pop your Hardened Carapace, you get a shield, so they got to burn your shield before they can actually hurt you again. And by the time they burn your shield, your ass is out of there. So this makes your survivability go through the roof. Um, so this is level 4 is extremely hard to choose what to take. I typically choose Underking. When we get to the Hardened Carapace build, Shed Exoskeleton is what we're choosing. And Bed of Barbs, since it helps you kind of control the lane a bit, I typically use this one for the Beetle build.
Okay.
And that's not saying that you can mix and match these. I mean, these are such power to get such powerful talents at level 4 is insane. So yeah, level 4 is hard. There is not a wrong choice. Seven. Chitinous Plating. While Hardened Carapace is active, taking damage from enemy abilities reduce its cooldown by 1 up to 3 seconds. That's really great. It's a 7-second cooldown, so that's incredible.
Yeah.
To have in a team fight,
Get
you're
down
basically
by 4 seconds
able
like
to,
that. That's...
yeah, you can. But again, it's by an ability. So, Zul'jin, Tychus, all your basic attackers, you're not going to reduce the cooldown for it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But everyone has its abilities, so everyone has abilities. So it's still nice.
Yeah.
So to be able to get that up in a team fight every 4 seconds is great, and also every 4 seconds that means you're getting a Beetle out faster as well. Subterranean Shield. Burrow Charge also grants 345 point shield for 5 seconds. It's a good shield. It makes ambushing and escaping a lot more safe. Because even if you escape and they still try to hit you with something, you still got that shield. And now when you ambush them, you pop out with the shield first. So you could pop out as an ambush, and then you activate Hardened Carapace. Now you have 2 shields that stack on each other, plus now 2 beetles are going to come out as well. So
it's just shield. It's not like it's a spell shield or whatever. It's just a shield.
Correct. Yes. So this will be the white bar that goes over your health bar.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's armor. That is what you're thinking of. So shield and armor is different.
Oh. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So armor raises your defense in one of those 2 things. Shield actually covers your health.
Just covers everything. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And then Leeching Scarabs. Beetles gain 30% bonus attack damage, and they heal Anub'arak for 50% of their damage with each attack if he is nearby. So that's fantastic. Again, it makes pushing a lane. Now, since these guys can heal you now, one, they're dealing more damage, so now they're going to be healing you for more as well. And as long as you stay in lane with them, now you're getting healed from them. And his survivability as a tank already is pretty good. So this one will help you stay in lane a lot longer.
Okay.
But overall, for this build, Subterranean Shield is the way to go.
Okay.
10 is tough. Because both are really, really good. We'll go with Cocoon first. So Cocoon, like you said, it wraps the enemy hero up. Basically, if you're going pro play, this is the winning talent. Because you completely remove someone out of a fight for 7 seconds.
Which is
7
so
seconds
long.
It's such a long time in this game. So now, in a team fight, your people need to realize, as long as you cocoon the right target, because if you cocoon someone in a huge mob, a lot of AoE moves, they can still damage you. Like, for example, Jaina's Blizzard. If we're all clashed up, but Jaina's in the back, and I cocoon the tank, well, she can Blizzard on the cocoon, and I'm right there, so I would take damage as well, and she's damaging that cocoon. So you have to be smart with cocoon and take the right target. So whoever is in a bad position, whoever is off by themselves, or if you can get the healer, cocoon is fantastic, because now the team has to choose: do they fight for the objective, fight the team fight, or do they abort, or does even just one person abort and try to break this cocoon? And even if one person goes, now it becomes a 5-on-3 team fight. So cocoon is very, very strong.
Yeah.
But it also takes a little bit of, again, you need good positioning. A little good coordination is nice as well. Typically, I go with Locust Swarm. You activate it, you deal damage, and every time you deal damage, and it's a whole radial around you. So if you're surrounded, it helps more. So it'll be more damage ticks each time. So each enemy damage gives you health. So this just kind of keeps you in the lane longer. Um, for what we do, Locust Swarm is great. If you were to play um, on like higher tier stuff, like pros and stuff, Cocoon is the guaranteed one that you choose. In
Okay.
fact, probably if you don't choose Cocoon, once your team realizes you didn't choose Cocoon, you're probably going to get yelled at. Cocoon is very, very important when you're doing the big stuff. But for what we're doing, I like Locust Swarm because it keeps you in the fight longer.
For our funsies kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, it certainly it has its place as well. Because even if you get stunned or whatever, those bugs still fight and they still heal you. So once you activate it, it's active for the full duration. They can't take they can't. Well, I guess if Stitches does Gorge and swallows you, or the enemy Anub'arak does Locust or does Cocoon to you, I think that would do it. So that kind of move would do it. But other than that, I think this Locust Swarm is out always.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to use too. You just hit the button. There's a big fight. You just hit the button, and then
Yeah, you don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah. Okay, so 13. Urticating Spines. Casting Hardened Carapace will also deal 80 damage to nearby enemies. That will scale. Deals double damage against heroes, so that's fantastic.
Sheesh.
We already know what build that's going into.
Yeah.
Burning Beetles. You deal 21 scaling damage per second to nearby enemies, which is pretty standard. I use it. I like this one a lot. It helps with crowd control. Pretty much if anyone engages you in melee, they're going to take damage. But the interesting part was that the Beetles deal the fire damage as well. 6 damage per second to nearby enemies. I don't remember what level I was at, but they were doing 10 fire damage, which isn't a lot, I know. However, at the time, I was able to pop 4 Beetles out. I was taking... Oh, I was capturing the... We were doing the Garden of Terror. And I was capturing the thing, and there's the 4 minions around the seed. I ended up having 4 Beetles out. So that was... Not only was it my fire damage every second, but it was 4 Beetles, so it was a total of 40 fire damage each second as well, with every single Beetle, and then plus everyone's normal attack. So this actually stacks really, really well. Um, so I really like it. And then Acid Drenched Mandibles. Attacking a hero that is slowed, rooted, or stunned increases Anub'arak's basic attack damage by 70% for 3 seconds. This is massive. This is amazing. He has 2 moves that can stun and slow. So this is huge. So once you land your burrow, so it makes your burrow, if you ambush, as long as you hit somebody with burrow or your impaling spikes, you're doing 70% more damage for 3 seconds, which makes the burrow even more powerful. If enemies are running away, so if you pop up and you get them and they don't die from it, now you got to set for 3 seconds. You got 70% extra damage. So this is super, super powerful. What I would say, this is kind of, at this point in the game, 13, you know if you're doing well or if you're not doing well. So I would say typically Acid Drenched Mandibles is going to be the stronger anti-hero choice.
Okay.
If you are being kind of more overwhelmed and you need to push lanes, burning beetles is going to be the choice you want.
Okay, so if they're kind of just taking us down and it's like, oh crap, we got to turn this around a little bit, then you want to beetles it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's like we need to make headroom somewhere, burning beetles is going to help you clear lanes and monster caps faster.
Okay.
With that being said, urticating spines, you activate that and it deals damage, radial damage, and double damage to heroes. This is good too. I don't think it's going to be good for lane clear. And the damage isn't going to be stronger than acid drenched mandibles. But the trick with that is that you have to land one of your 2 moves, which I mean isn't hard to do. But then having some damage output on your shield is also nice as well. Obviously the shield build, I use this for the shield build. But I think the strongest standard choice for this build is going to be acid trench mandibles. But so 13 is another one. 13 and 4 they're solid across the board, I feel. But what's not like 4, you don't really know yet how the match is going. 13, you know kind of where you're at, and you can adjust properly, at least with 13.
Yeah, 4, you got to kind of go on faith.
Yeah. 16, Epicenter. Increases burrow charge impact area by 60% and lowers the cooldown by 1 second for each hero hit. This is amazing. So the impact area, so where he pops up at, that's the spot that's going to be larger, not his travel distance. So just as that, so it's nice because you can hit more heroes in that range, and then each one you hit lowers it by 1. On a 14-second cooldown, so that's pretty major. Debilitation. Enemies hit by Burrow Charge or Impale have their spell power reduced by 50% for 4 seconds. Very, very powerful if you are going up against a lot of casters. He's already, just with his Hardened Carapace alone, gives him 40 spell armor. So he is, and the fact that Impale runs on a line and Burrow lets you shoot underneath the ground. So basically he can reach far and travel far. So he is a anti-caster tank. And this makes it even more powerful. So now, reduces their spell power by 50%. You activate your Carapace, and now that's another 40% damage reduction to spell power. So if you are going against a heavy caster team, this one is a no-brainer. But if it's your basic attackers, this will have really no effect really. So this one, debilitation, depending who your enemy team is, this might be the one you want to go with. By default, I always choose Epicenter because that bigger impact is so important. And then Beetlejuice, your passive, your beetles gain 30% increased health, so that's nice. They stick around longer. And then every 4th basic attack spawns a beetle, which is excellent.
Sorry for all the noise, Brestonians. My Rumble Pack woke up and he's very loud. He's loud when he's asleep and he's loud when he's awake.
So yeah, Epicenter would be the default choice here.
Very cool.
On 20, here we go. Hive Master. Gain a permanent Vampire Locust that attacks a nearby enemy every 3 seconds. The Vampire Locust deals damage, which will scale, and returns to heal Anub'arak for health, scaling health.
So would this be similar... Sorry. Would this be similar to, like, Rainer's Raiders? Like his little...
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of. It's going to look the same. You're going to have this bug guy flying behind you. And then every 3 seconds he'll go out, hit someone, and then you'll get health. Yeah,
okay.
Yes, permanently.
Okay.
So he'll just pop up and always be there, and it's another way to get some health back.
Okay.
Crypt Weave. Staying near the cocoon allows Anub'arak to extend the duration by up to 6 seconds per cocoon. Holy shit. Upon exiting the cocoon, enemies take 50 damage over 4 seconds. This damage is increased by 100% for each second that they were inside. Damn. That's pretty cool.
It's pretty good.
Well, it says per cocoon. How... 70-second cooldown. How can you get more than one cocoon out?
Yeah, 6 seconds per cocoon. Weird.
Yeah, that's kind of weird wording. I don't think you can have more than one cocoon out.
Yeah, I think it's just worded poorly, yeah.
Yeah. So this is cool. But again, it's kind of tough because this is all about positioning. And if you choose this talent, you need to get the benefit out of it is you can't just cocoon and leave. You need a cocoon, and now you got to set up shop because an additional 6 seconds, that's almost double the time because the time is 7 seconds. So that is huge. And then they exit, they take 50 damage, and it's doubled for each second that they were in there. So that is insane.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage.
To put this in a way that Brassonians will understand, you can't board wipe and leave. You've got to put them in the cocoon, and you got to stay there and do some work.
Yeah. The Trader King. 60-second cooldown. Excuse me. Gain 10% bonus max health and 20 spell armor. That's a lot of spell armor this guy can get. Hold on. This is 20. Level 4 talent is... The level 1 talent is 20. So you can get 80 spell armor.
It's a lot of spell armor.
Yeah, you activate this, and you activate... wait. That's passive. If you take this, you just get 10% more health and 20 spell armor up at all times.
Yep.
Because if you activate, you gain 75 armor for 4 seconds.
It's pretty good.
Wow. Wow. This is going in the shield build. So that means if you activate it, you get 75 physical armor and then 95 spell armor. And then if you activate, when that's off, then you activate your carapace with the Nerubian armor talent, which would bring, that's 20, so that'd be 60, and this talent would bring you to another 80. Damn! How long does that last? 3 seconds. Damn, so you can have 3 seconds of 80 spell armor, and then 4 seconds of 95 spell armor. That is nuts.
That's a long time.
That is a powerful talent. Wow. Now rewind, you activate this, and it resets the cooldowns of all your basic abilities. So this is cool for a couple reasons. Some of his things have a larger cooldown. Impale and Burrow, 12 and 14 second cooldown. The other nice part is basically you pop all 3 abilities, which each grants you a beetle, and then you hit rewind, and you can pop all 3 again. So you can summon a huge horde of beetles, a crazy amount of beetles. But it's also going to cost a lot of mana. That's another thing. He's not the most mana efficient hero. So it's a lot of mana you're going to be using up, but you can burst. Plus, if you have the fire damage perk, that is a lot. That is a lot of beetles and a lot of burn damage. So for this build, I don't actually know. These are really, really powerful. Okay, so 4, 13, and 20 are difficult. Difficult. Since we chose Locust Swarm at 10, if you want the easy route, you can choose Hive Master.
Yeah. More health is more health, right? That's never a bad thing, especially as a tank.
Yeah, yeah. So a little bit more damage, some healing. The Trader King is good because you're a tank, so armor is always good. And then you get more health and spell armor. In fact, I think Trader King is actually the strongest talent.
Okay. That's the way to go.
Yes, because even though the Hive Master numbers are going to scale, 165 damage and 80 healing, that's pretty low numbers. I don't know how much benefit you're actually going to get from that. 80 health is nothing. I don't know how high these are going to scale, so it will be worth looking at level 20 to see what these actual numbers do come out to be.
Okay.
However, that amount of healing, I think, might already be outdone by the 20% reduction in damage done by spells and abilities. Because what I was saying in an older video, that sometimes it was with the Anub'arak build, because one of his moves can grant a shield opposed to a healing talent, and sometimes the best way to keep people's health up is by just mitigating it altogether opposed to healing it. So I think 20% reduced damage from spells might outdo the healing you get, because if you're taking 20% reduced damage, that's just less healing you need overall, and you're getting 10% more health, period. And then we can also activate it for that for the other armor. So I think this is actually the strongest talent.
Okay, checks out.
I think there's more survivability in Trader King than there is in the healing with Hive Master.
So
And the damage, I don't think you're going to turn the tides of war with the damage that Hive Master does. I like Hive Master, though, because I like having that little buggy floating around.
Oh yeah, it's fun flavor, for sure. And, like, you know,
Yeah.
a little bit of damage is great. But yeah, I can see what you mean. Like, if you got a 3,500 health pool that you're trying to take down, it's like, oh, poke. Yeah, it's not like you're...
Yeah.
not really taking them down.
We'll run through the other two builds then really fast.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Beetle Build. We want Legion of Beetles.
Checks out.
So even our Beetles are now anti-caster.
You're not picking them off.
Yep. Level 4. This one is tough because, well, actually no, it's not. Beta Barbs. Because Beetle Build is going to help us control a lane and take over the lane. So, and Beta Barbs is going to help us do that.
Okay.
With Beta Barbs, though, it makes you need to be smarter now when you do Impale. Because if you need it to do crowd control, you want to make sure that it is perpendicular to the lane, opposed to going straight down and being parallel with the lane. Because you're going to hit more enemies with it going wide across the lane, opposed to the same direction. So that's the only thing with Beta Barbs. If you want the full value, just for like lane clear purposes.
Okay.
So you just got to be smart because you want to make your enemies in the Beta Barbs for as long as possible. So 7, we are choosing Leeching Scarabs. So they're going to do more damage and heal us as well. I'll still say Locust Swarm because we never want to leave the lane for 10.
Okay.
13, definitely Burning Beetles. I already gave my speech about the stacking beetle damage we could do. And now we're adding burn to it. 16, Beetlejuiced. So now they have more health, more survivability, and now just basic attacks are able to spawn beetles as well.
Does that get nutty with, like, stim or something like that? If I'm, like, attacking...
Yeah, so Rhaegar's got Bloodlust, which will increase attack speed. Anna and Lieutenant Morales each have a stim thing that will increase attack speed as well.
Yeah, that'd be hysterical.
If they do it to him, then So now we passively spawn a beetle. Each ability will spawn a beetle. And now our fourth basic attack to anything, not just heroes, it's just four basic attacks will spawn a beetle. So we can, in one swipe, we can um, spawn 5 beetles. So, and when we mix that with our burning beetles, they each do burn damage. And like I said, I know it does go up to 10 damage. So at that point, that's 50 burn damage just from the beetles alone, not including the burn damage you deal on your own, your basic attacks, your abilities, and your beetles damage as well.
Sick.
So massive, massive, massive. And then for 20, this one I'm kind of torn on because, as I said, Trader King is super powerful. But if we're trying to overrun a lane, I think a rewind might be the stronger choice. So one swipe, we get our attack, 3 abilities, and our passive beetle. And now we can hit rewind, and we can launch 3 more beetles out. If we pop out our abilities fast enough, we can do 3 more beetles. So you can have 8 beetles out in a very, very short time. So rewind is going to help us get our basic abilities back, and we're going to pop them all again to overrun the lane with burning beetles.
So many beetles.
And then lastly, for our strictly survive build, our beefy armor build, Nerubian armor gives us more spell armor. Shed exoskeleton. Now we move fast while we activate it. Chitinous plating. If we take damage from abilities, which is basically not going to hurt us much at all, we're going to reduce that cooldown. We're talking survival, so let's just do Locust Swarm again.
Okay.
Urticating Spines. So now when we activate it, we're going to be dealing damage. 16, I don't think we have... Okay, debilitation.
Okay.
So it doesn't affect our armor directly, but if we land Burrow Charge and Impale, spell power is reduced by 50%.
So it's going to help survivability in general.
Super, super, super. So we get 40 base, and because of level 1, we get, so that's 60. So if we activate our armor, that's 60 spell armor, and then we land one of our moves, and now that's 50% reduction in their damage. So they're going to only doing half damage, and now we're going to be doing 60. We're going to defend 60% of that half damage is going to be reduced. So we pop our armor, we land one of our 2 basics, and now we have like 3 seconds where we're just going to take virtually just no damage from spells.
Yeah, our come at me bro moment.
Yeah. Yes, the one thing with debilitation though, so it lasts for 4 seconds. So ideally, we want to cast Burrow or Impale, wait 4 seconds, and then cast the other one to keep that 50% uptime high.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah, so you want to spread it out, or if there's more than one hero, you're going to want to try to hit each of them if you can't hit them in the same move. So this is kind of opposite of Beetle Build, because Beetle Build, we want to launch out as many moves and get our beetles out fast. This one, we want to keep our moves and make sure we put them properly to reduce that damage. And then 20, we're definitely taking the Trader King, because more health, 20 default spell armor, and then 75 activatable armor. There's so much armor. And then debilitation reduces whatever that is by 50%, and then that half damage, our armor is gonna just chop down so much of that. And Trader King, if you activate it, that's 75 armor base, so that means 75 physical armor too. So now you can even defend against that on a minute cooldown too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so powerful. There's so much good defensive stuff here.
I apparently have a bunch of Anub'arak skins. You know, the very important things.
Yes, I love mine because I got my Beetle Borg, and then this was one of the Chinese New Year skins. Everyone got kind of like a techno samurai-esque looking stuff. If you've
Yeah,
ever
like an
seen
Oni
Shadowrun,
almost.
yeah, yes, like Oni's, yes. If you've, they actually gave like a little lore thing, how there's like different street gangs, but it's in like a future world. So, um, like the Onyx Turtles was one of the gangs, and Karazim has an Onyx Turtle skin, so he's kind of like a techie man turtle dude. And then Joanna has one. Uh, Butcher has one, and I think and Chromie has one. They're all part of a different street gang, and they're all a different color of the four, like the White Tiger, the Red Phoenix, uh, Green Dragon, and the Black Turtle.
Oh, okay.
Those are like the. Sometimes it's a Black Ox, so I'm not really positive. Oh no, there's a blue something. There's a blue. I'm not sure. Might be confusing China and Japan, maybe, or it's just people taking liberties and changing things, and I'm getting all confused. But
Yeah, doing what they want.
yeah. Anyway, it was a cool little thing with some lore, and I wish we could actually look at it some more, but I don't know. They didn't do it anymore. And then you guys saw my ladybug, and I got love bug.
Oh my god, that one's so cute.
There's another green one too that's really cool because it's like a iridescent love bug. Anub'arak is what it's called, iridescent. So it's really shiny. I would like it. And there's a yellow, red, and a blue tech cyberbug. And then for the StarCraft fans, there is a Nubalisk, and it's a Anub'arak and a Hydralisk fused. I would like one of those as well. I just don't know which one. I don't know which one to take.
Kind of run through stuff so people can see some of the
So
cool...
I can afford them, but yeah. So Anub'arak, I love. I think he's got just really solid builds. He's one of the few characters where you can make all three builds for, and they're all viable.
Yeah, and they all, like, make sense, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, alright, Brysonians. Look at that, 3 builds for the price of 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Choogie provides, you guys. He's amazing.
I try.
Like, share, and subscribe if you'd like to see more of this content. We always appreciate the love and support, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!